Hi, I'm Nathaniel Rateliff.
And Joseph Pope III.
We are the Night Sweats, and you are live in limbo.
Think about a world I found spinning right. Remember all the clothes I wore to hide it from you.
Hi, this is Dakota Arsenault with Live in Limbo, and I am sitting here with Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good. Right. Welcome back to Canada. The last time you guys played in Toronto was in December at the Phoenix, and now you're here at Wayhome playing like a pretty big prime slot at one of the biggest stages. This past year has been pretty crazy for you. How's that been going for you?
It's been, it's been a surprise how much we've worked this last year. We haven't really had any time off, but it's been great. I think regardless of how hard it is sometimes, we're still, feel humbled and gracious about everything that's been happening.
Could you ever even expect it, how much you've grown in this past year?
No, not at all.
No, didn't. Only if we were to be like really arrogant jerks. I think maybe when we were 22 and something good was going to happen, we'd be like, oh, we're going to be huge. But still, it's kind of hard to grasp exactly where we're at in the spectrum. And I think that's something we're trying to figure out now. Is like, people keep coming and more people keep coming, and we're kind of trying to get over the why is everybody coming to see us, and just continue to be true to ourselves and try to play good shows.
Awesome. I've caught some of your performances online, like Coachella and Bonnaroo, and you guys have massive crowds coming out for that show. Do you enjoy playing at these such big festivals where there's just a sea of people everywhere you look?
Well, it's amazing. I wouldn't say we don't enjoy it. We definitely enjoy it. It's a different beast though than playing theater shows that you have the audience kind of contained, and the energy palpability is a little different. So it's been an adjustment. We've never really done festivals before this year, but we just did a run in Europe of a bunch of festivals, and we've done some stuff in the States. So we're getting our sea legs about us, and we have a blast.
Nice. All right. When I listened to your music, when I first heard it, I hear a whole bunch of crazy different influences, especially the stuff that I was introduced to when I was really young from my parents and my grandparents, stuff like Johnny Cash, Elvis, Ray Charles, things like that. Is that kind of the genesis of a lot of your music, is taking the stuff that came before us?
I mean, I think, our influences are kind of all across the board. And I just, when you mention all those people, I think of all those people as hardworking musicians and just people. And I think that's kind of what we're trying to do, is pull from all those, not intentionally pull from all of those, but I think those influences are there whether we want them to be or not. And, I love the band, love Townes Van Zandt, love Leonard Cohen, love Ray Charles, love Otis Redding and Sam and Dave and early Bob Marley. So I don't know, all of that stuff is great, and it, just kind of comes out the way it comes out, so.
I think there's different moments in different songs where you go, oh yeah, I can kind of hear where this is coming from. And when I try to describe your music to other people, I'm like, well, it's kind of got a bit of soul. There's a bit of R&B. There's a little bit of country. There's of course there's some rock, maybe a bit of jazz. And so it's kind of all over the place, but it melds together so nicely where you can really tell where you guys grew up from and what you were listening to.
I feel it's a lot like my multiple personalities, really. They're all there, and sometimes they stick out like a sore thumb, but usually they calm down and, kind of mix together well.
All right. Speaking of Elvis, who I just mentioned, when I watch the SOB music video, I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a mix of a jailhouse rock, but also with the Blues Brothers, where they end up in prison sort of thing.
That's what we were trying to make fun of a little bit, so, yeah.
Do you have a lot of people notice that, or is that maybe Blues Brothers too old now for some people?
I think a lot of people get it, but I think some people it kind of is a little over their heads. The same thing with our second video we did, I Need Never Get Old, which is us kind of, was the same director, and it was basically us doing some of the things that Brian Wilson did in the studio, which are, you'd have to, have read Beach Boys books or something like that to know some of those things.
Your album was released on Stax Records, which is pretty crazy considering the history that they have with releasing literally some of the greatest music of all time. Was that something that you felt a bit of pressure added on to you when they approached you?
It actually, I made the record before we knew it was going to come out through Stax, and so I just made it the way I thought it should be made, and luckily, I mean, it's just an honor to be a part of all of those artists.
Nice.
Yeah, they came. They're part of the label we're on. Runs that label as well, and when it kind of became known that it was possible, and they jumped at it, we were kind of beside ourselves, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just an idea in the beginning. It was like, maybe this could come out through Stax, and for it to actually work out. It's a real label love story there. So.
Yeah, and we got to play. We were in Memphis for a festival a couple months ago, and got to go to the Stax Museum and actually play a show there.
Wow.
And just incredible, like, honor to be even associated with all those guys. You know.
Yeah, they also run a program for the inner city. I mean, all of Memphis is inner city, pretty much, impoverished. And they run a program for music and for children to try to put them into college. And so we got to play, like, do a Q&A and play for those kids, and then they sang a song for us. And we're like, what are we doing here? You guys know way more than we do.
Amazing.
That's cool. Nice. At Bonnaroo, you guys brought out Leon Bridges and a couple of his band members. How did that relationship come from? Because they definitely have a similar sound to what you guys are doing.
We just kept running into those guys, and Leon came out, and he was in Dallas when we were there. And he was like, hey, man, can I come to the show? And they're like, yeah, you want to come out on stage? And then I jumped out on stage with him when he was in Denver. And we just, you keep running into the same people, and you start to become buddies. And actually, we'd asked Jeff, the sax player, to sit in with us. And then in the middle of the song, Leon just jumped out there out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because actually, for me, the set was horrible. Like, our in-ears, our monitors didn't work at all, and everything. It was kind of a disaster, even though other people were like, man, that set was great. And I was like, it made me want to kill myself. I was like almost in tears, and I looked at Leon. I was like, dude, you totally saved my ass. Thank you so much. But yeah, when we were in Denver, we had like a dance-off kind of thing. So it reminds me of the old Cosby Show episode where we're like, challenge. Do you remember that?
I didn't see that one.
It was like, okay. Yeah, it was like Bill dancing against this like man who was a really good dancer. So.
That's awesome. Speaking of, we were talking earlier about you guys playing Osheaga next weekend. Leon is going to be there as well. Is there going to be some sort of a collaboration again?
I don't know. We'll see if we're there at the same time. Or
yeah.
It's nice when that stuff just kind of happens, organically. We'll probably crash Mac DeMarco's set though today. We'll see.
I think he's going to be pretty crazy.
He is. We keep running into him. It's been hilarious. So and Courtney Barnett and geez, who else? I don't know. It's funny to be on like the festival circuit and you end up being the same, like I said, with the same place at the same time with a lot of other people. So
I think Major Laser's been on every festival we've been on, but we haven't hung out
I
with
haven't hung out
him.
with him yet. I don't know.
Is that your goal at some point?
I don't.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what they sound like.
They're playing tomorrow.
I'm sure they're very nice people.
We never hang out with Tame Impala, and they're always playing the same sets too. So
So if you're listening, Tame Impala, let's hang out.
I think if Tame Impala is listening, I would be very flattered for that.
probably not happening.
Back in December, we had interviewed you guys before. Obviously not me, someone else. Mahek did. And she had asked you about some new material. And you had specifically mentioned that you had a whole bunch of stuff going on, but you hadn't had a chance to actually sit down and write it. Have you started that process of a follow-up record?
Yeah, we started. We've been doing some new stuff. We'll probably do a couple of new tunes today. So, yeah.
That's exciting.
At least one.
Yeah.
So we've been doing so. Oh, no, we'll have two in the set.
We've got some time.
Time.
Next year. Beginning of next year, we're going to take some time off
Yeah.
and do some recording, I think.
Take some time off and record and do like your own personal stuff.
Well, what I mean,
Relax
what
a
he means
little
by
bit.
time off is we're not going to be on the road. It just means we'll be writing and recording a record. So no real time off.
Oh, that's a shame.
We're trying to
all
convince our manager to go halvesies on a all-band family vacation to somewhere nice.
You guys got a big band.
Chris, if you're listening, it's a pretty good idea.
I think that would be a great idea. You guys should all do that. Just pack up. I think make a movie
Go to the
about
beach
that.
in the middle of the winter.
Right?
I don't know if you want a movie of us like on a beach and then like getting in fights with our wives or whatever when we're on a vacation.
Well, they'll edit that out. Just the partying, you know, if you guys pick up a guitar or something like that, maybe that.
It's like, and that's when he wrote that hit, "Drunk on a Beach."
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, they're playing at Wayhome. Make sure you check them out. Also check out their record. Got some sweet gear.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to end up picking that up because that's really badass.
Yeah, you can buy those online and at the festival.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.